Like if you enjoy your job, then I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing a long day at work. You know what I mean? Like if it's as long as it's enjoyable. Total select from available devices displayed to content on the show.
Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels like.
Oh, don't tell me I have to put all that in. Oh, anonymous. I guess. Telephone the camera on device that has your passkey. So let's see. My job is tolerable. It would be better if I could. Hang on. Let me open it because we're gonna check out some gang stuff content in a second. This is cool. Is my Bluetooth turned on? Yeah. So this is what we're getting. So you guys are saying, I'm doing okay. My job is tolerable. Is gang stalking really real? Yeah. So I wouldn't have a YouTube channel named The Gang Stalking Playbook if it wasn't. Like I have absolutely no reason to make such outlandish claims. You know what I mean? Like, why would I go out of my way to make claims that are so unbelievable? Don't show us any of your security passports. Protect yourself. Oh yeah, I did. They didn't show. Thank you though. I appreciate you. That's sweet. So, look, no one in their right mind would actively make outlandish claims, much less make those claims where their face is shown. I would not make those claims unless I was sure that I was telling you the right information. I would not make up any type of story like that involves so many mishaps and misfortunes. Why would I make up so many fake stories? I wouldn't. It makes no sense. So, yeah. Okay, so we are gonna check out. We're going to check out a little bit of Twitter X. We're going to see if there is anything about gang stalking that we could what is that word? Anything about gang stalking that we could call up BS, because there is a lot of BS about gang stalking. So many there is so much misinformation that people completely misrepresent what gang stalking truly is. Human Help is saying, my therapist told me I have to be careful about watching gang stalking content. My therapist thinks it will fuel my paranoia. What should I do? Look, it depends on the content. The truth is that there is so much content about gang stalking that is based on the false narrative. The false narrative is about the cars of people being bugged, the the false narrative about technology being involved, about V2K, all of those stories are false. However, gang stalking wears down the mind of the target to the point where the mind is easily malleable. There are methods of making people hear voices. There are methods of making people feel sensations. I'm telling you this because I know these methods. I experience them and I can tell them to you. This methodology is done to a person who is tired, worn down, and possibly under the influence of illicit substances. This manipulation of the mind of a target is done in such a way where the target hears voices that appear to be, hang on, let me rephrase that. When someone experiences gang stalking, one goes online and looks for information. The information that one will find online about gang stalking is about the technology that gang stalkers are supposed to have. That technology includes V2K, that technology includes directed energy weapons. However, all of those things are false. In reality, the target has been conditioned to believe those things. Because gang stalking makes people hear voices and it makes people feel sensations that appear to be unexplainable. And the only explanation that is out there is directed energy weapons or V2K, because the truth behind gang stalking is not known. I know it, I've experienced it, and I explained it. However, it has not been popularized yet. My therapist says I should rely on evidence-based reality. Exactly, not my theories that are in my head. I'm scared my mind has been telling me things that are not true because I have no evidence, only belief. Okay, so what belief? What is it that is making you believe that you're being gang stalked? What experiences have you had? What is it that is so convincing that makes you believe that you are being gang stalked? Okay, so let's see what is here on about gang stalking. My YouTube video showing criminals using electronic devices, psychological stalking tactics. Together we can do it. Yesterday at this time I had 50 followers. Today almost 150. This is the kind of progress we need. I hope your numbers are jumping. Individuals. What is this guy saying? Oh, it's a woman. Confessions of a gang stalking. Confessions of a gang stalking. Organized crime in collusion with the government. Listen to this sick beast. He's so proud of his.
Someone call that new trap.
Oh, I think I have seen this video before.
We call it a nudge.
A nudge.
A nudge. Sometimes you just gotta give them a quick little, just to see what happens, right?
And how does that happen?
You put a post out there, or you
you have someone fake profile, say something that triggers, that we know is going to trigger them, right? Like, we already know your history. If we're to that point, we already know everything about it. So we're like, oh, this will piss them off. Sometimes you like diffuse and just wait for it to follow. Nothing like putting out a fake social media thing to like really get people mad. Mm-hmm. Post fake news. Sometimes it's not fake. It's embellished a little bit.
Huh.
You can kind of put anyone in jail if you know what to do.
How?
You set them up.
That's
create
crazy. You know, gangs. I can tell you of a lot of times where gang stalkers try to set me up. One thing about gang stalking that is fascinating is that they will set you up to steal something or to do some type of perversion. Like I'm not kidding you. I had a kid put their hand on mine in a public place. And there was a kid I was training, as in personal training. I pulled my hand away immediately, and then I looked around, and I noticed how a lot of people were paying attention to what I was doing. These people were actually trying to set me up to be a pedo, and it's like, no, it's like, no. It was insane. It's really, really insane. So, Human Help, I'm still waiting for your input. I asked you if there was anything, or to tell me what is it that has you convinced that makes you believe that you are being gang stalked. Because for you to make such a claim, something significant has to have happened to you. For you to tell that to your therapist. What is this? Dark manipulation, gang stalkers, families, weapons. Ooh. Can I make this full screen? Let's see. Gang stalkers spin lies under the mask of behavioral correction. Huh? What the hell? I never heard about that. Let's see. Good cop, bad cop. Manipulation distorts your loved one's perception. Gaslighting breaks trust and leaves you isolated. Fear tactics push families, betray often unknowingly. The isolation is by design, not your fault. Gang stalkers spin lies under the mask of behavioral correction. The good cop, bad cop, manipulation distort. I don't even know what the good cop, bad cop thing is. Gaslighting, smear campaigns, isolation tactics. You know, after I found out how big gang stalking really is, I am so sure that there's no such thing as a smear campaign. Like, I honestly feel that pretty much if their job is simply to in as many opportunities as possible call the target whatever the particular group of people want the target to believe is being said about them. I don't have any evidence though. I can be very suspicious of random things that happen to me. My therapist is my interpretations might be off. Evidence is not important. What is important is how these things that are happening around you are affecting your behavior. I don't have any evidence though. I can be very suspicious of random things that happen to me. My therapist is my interpretation. My therapist is my interpretation, maybe off. because when I ask the people what's happening, it's not anything targeted to me. I don't have any evidence though. I can be very suspicious. Then what is it? Are the things that people are saying, the random things are being said around you, are making you feel, what is it? If you're getting gang stalked, there has to be something that makes you believe that the things that are being said around you are about you. My therapist said my interpretation may be off in my mind. You need to give me any example if you want me to give you anything based off my gang stalking experience, because you're not really giving me anything to. You're not helping me help you. How they divide families. They pose as authorities to gain trust. They spin false narratives about you. They exploit love and fear to manipulate. They turn concern into control. Me, this didn't really do anything. Oh, look! It might look awful in that video. Dude!
So you start saying out loud, oh, I'm getting harassed by all these people, like that.
My face looks so different.
That in itself is gonna make you appear paranoid. So people go crazy because of the sheer amount of abuse. Additionally, I went on Grindr, and the same thing that had always happened again, where people were trying to influence me into having illicit substances, into staying up all night, and what I began doing is.
Oh my god. That is not a cute look. Every time I leave my house, strangers follow me, cough loudly near me, or flash their headlights at me. It's all coordinated to harass and intimidate me. Every time I leave my house, strangers follow me, cough loudly near me, or flash their headlights at me. It's all coordinated to harass and intimidate me. So, how are headlights harassing you? Does that question make sense? But when I leave with friends, it doesn't happen. Only when I'm alone. That's why my therapist thinks it might not actually be coordinated. I have no evidence. From what you are telling me, it sounds like it could be the beginning of gang stalking. But look, to be honest, stay busy with what you're doing and don't pay them attention. What they do only affects you if you allow it to impact your peace of mind. What is it even? Where was this? July 15. I look freaking awful in that video. How long have I looked this awful? Let's see. What my therapist says is this a common pattern where ordinary events are interpreted as as a part of a targeted organized campaign. Hello, can G stalkers affect your loved one's mental health around you, aka them being easily brainwashed? On antipsychotics, can family plus in-laws also suddenly act weird? First, human help. Honestly, I do not have enough of your story for me to be able to give you any type of helpful information. The truth is that you have lived your life, I don't know how many years, and suddenly some people are doing something weird that is throwing you off. There is obviously something going on that you maybe don't understand, or it is simply hitting you off in a wrong way. The best thing that you can do, honestly, that is going to keep you safe is for you to be obsessed with your own life, with your own goals, with your own wants, to the point where you do not have any psychological bandwidth left to pay any attention to the things that these people are doing. The things that these people are doing are not really affecting you unless you are thinking about them continuously. You have to actively manage your mind to not think about that, because if you focus too much on it, you are going to be looking out for it. It is easy for your interpretation of reality to change, to interpret things around you in a manner that is antagonistic. That is what happens when you are in a state of paranoia. When you are in a state of paranoia, you're going to be confused, especially because of the headlights. You see the headlights everywhere. So if you feel paranoid that people with headlights that people with the headlights on are following you, in a state of paranoia, you will interpret a lot of headlights as part of the harassment. So first before anything, you have to maintain your composure. The moment that you lose your composure, that you behave in a way that is paranoid, that is uncontrolled, where you lose your ability to control your own body, your own yourself. Once that happens, you are incredibly likely to misinterpret a lot of things that are going around you as harassment. There could be a stranger that has nothing to do with you, and because you are in a state of paranoia, you can possibly interpret that person as someone who is stalking you. First and foremost, it is very important for you to maintain composure, to stop whatever you're doing. Don't drive. Stay in a single spot. Breathe until you regain your after you regain your composure. A state of paranoia is the worst state that you can be in while driving, running around, or doing any activity that could lead you, or while doing anything that could put you and others in danger. Be well rested. Do not take any illicit substances. And don't run out in a frenzy. Don't accuse people out of the blue. First and foremost, your main priority is to maintain your composure at all costs. Only after you regain your composure, only then you will regain your clarity of mind. And once that is regained, then you can look at the situation and not make a judgment out of anxiety, because that is the worst thing you can do. If anything or anyone is doing anything that is throwing you off and you are unsure, simply stay away from that person and don't pay any mind, because there are a lot of people out there that are crazy. There are a lot of people that could harass you for no reason. And I'm not telling you this to make you paranoid. I'm telling you this so that you don't mistakenly believe that you are being followed. The truth is that gang stalking is something that is highly unlikely. It's really improbable. If you are getting gang stalked, you will know. You will know. However, you do want to maintain your mind busy with other things, not with things that will try to envelop your mind into thinking about gang stalking, that you are getting followed. As long as you maintain your composure, as long as you do not make any choice that could lead you to any type of catastrophic incident, you're good. Keep going at work. Don't miss sleep. Eat. Don't do anything crazy. And perhaps instead of looking at gang stalking content, even though I love that you are here, you shouldn't be enveloping your mind in that, because the content itself about gang stalking, a lot of it is not really made to give you clarity of mind. A lot of it is made to convince you that the voices you hear are V2K. So please don't immediately assume that you are being followed. Don't immediately assume that. Let's see. Dealing with, do you have accidental wire is saying, do you have any advice on dealing with BLK helicopter sensitization even when your problems has nothing to do with you? Look, I have heard about this before. The whole thing about helicopters, all of that is simply, it simply means that whenever you see the helicopter, you are actually in a state of paranoia. Eat, sleep, and remember of everything that needs to take place before anyone gets in a helicopter. Notice that it's expensive. Notice that it typically takes more than one person, and that there's a lot of work required before even lifting it off air. It is a state of paranoia. It is something, how do you say? It is highly unlikely. So you are you are in control of that perception, because a helicopter is not going to get too close to you regardless of where you are. Yeah, it might be hovering above you, but it is up to you to interpret it as harassment or as some helicopter. And to be honest, it is best for you to not immediately assume that a helicopter is gang stalking you. You say that you have been sensitized with black helicopters. I don't know what that entails because I have not experienced it. However, sensitizing to something means that you were harassed by helicopters for a long time, which means that whenever you see a helicopter, you feel anxiety. So do not immediately assume that every helicopter is after you. Don't. That's the unhealthiest thing you can possibly do. It's the worst thing. It's the worst disservice you can do to yourself. Let's see. Strangers always seem to know where I am. Cars follow me. Store clerks act like they've been briefed about me. Look, human help. What is it that makes you believe that strangers know where you're at? What is it that makes you believe that? Accidental Wire is saying, sensitization to certain phrases or insults from people who know your Achilles heel is also rough. Sensitization to certain phrases or insults from people who know your Achilles. It can be difficult, and I'm telling you this because I have experienced it. However, there is only so much power on those things as you allow it there to be. The truth, Accidental Warrior, is that These people have done actions for so long that force you to have a reaction, psychological or physical or emotional. The truth is that you cannot be concerned with the things that people around you are doing or saying because you have no control over that. The only thing that you have control over is your own behavior, your mannerisms, your speech, your thoughts. You have to make an effort to be continuously aware of everything that you do, of every single one of your movements, with the intention of filling up your mind with your own performance to the extent that there is no psychological bandwidth for you to concern yourself with the actions of other people. The truth is that people will do whatever they please, whether or not you like it, whether or not it offends you. So, as long as your primary concern is your own performance, your posture, your speech, your mannerisms, and your steps, only then you will be busy enough concerning about yourself so that you don't allow the actions of other people to affect you. Focus on your goals, focus on your dreams, focus on your health, your well-being, so much that nothing else matters. Gang stalkers want you to forget about yourself so that you focus on them. And look, you have to be completely absorbed in your own behavior. Every single blink, every single step has to be thoughtful. Focus on yourself only. Because if you allow any type of bandwidth free, gang stalkers are going to take that from you. Focus on your performance at work. Make your own performance and your own behavior the primary focus and your only focus. With practice, you will get better, and the antics of these strangers will become invisible. Let's see, sensitization to certain phrases, human help. When I confront the strangers, they turn out to be perfectly nice people with no hidden agenda. Something is wrong with my brain when I'm in a paranoid state. I misinterpret innocent things. I am sorry that is happening to you. Trey P. Hey, how are you doing, bro? Hey, Trey, I'm doing good. How are you? Sometimes it's just really hard to keep composure when I'm really freaked out or terrified, even if the threat is not real. Cars flash their headlights at me when I walk or drive. It's not random. It's a signal to let me know they're watching. But why? I don't understand. My coworkers are in on it. They gossip, exclude me, or sabotage my work under orders from someone higher up. These thoughts are in my head all the time. I have no evidence if it's real though. Let's see, my coworkers are in on it. The truth is that you don't need any evidence. It will be obvious to you when someone is gossiping or excluding you. To be honest with you, if someone is actively excluding you, the best thing that you can do is tell those people to not even address you unless it is necessary because of work. You do not want those people talking to you anyways because those people are already toxic. You do not feel these emotions or have these suspicions for no apparent reason. It will be apparent to you. These people are disrespecting you and your work in one way or another. Which means that these people, they practically consider you their enemy. To be honest, the best thing that you can do is to tell these people to not speak to you ever again, unless required by work. Otherwise, these people are going to talk to you only to get information, to find out what you're doing, or to harass you in any other way. If I were you, I would eliminate the accessibility that these people, coworkers, have to me unless it is required by work. That is the best approach. Okay, so you know why I started following your channel, because your voice is soothing and makes the most sense. Thanks for the advice. Oh, it's my pleasure, Accidental Warrior. Thank you so much for being here. England is saying, England, it happened during the pandemic and right before my therapy appointments, during the day and even nights. I'm really sorry about that. That's awful. Mine gang stalking, well, mine began a couple of years before the pandemic, but it was at its worst during the pandemic because there is all these psychopaths with nothing better to do. Human Help is saying, you seem to have managed your gang stalking beliefs in a very healthy way. You are good at staying mentally healthy and resilient against paranoia. You are my hero. Thank you so much, Human Help. It's that means a lot to me. I appreciate you. Accidental Warrior. Speaking more than one language helps. Having multiple hobbies too. I notice narcissist parents groom kids to be a target in later years, knowing that is useful. Speaking more than one language, having multiple hobbies too. I notice narcissist parents groom kids to be target in later years. I have not experienced that and I have not seen that. I have nothing to go on to either support or refuse your conclusion. Toaster Deluxe is saying, why are people speaking lies about something that doesn't exist? It makes no sense. I think people need help. I wouldn't entertain any of this as remotely legit. It's a waste of time. Nobody is stalking you. People are making money of this gang stalking BS. Well, look, if you don't believe it, then good for you. That means that this information is completely irrelevant to your life. And I wish that would be the case in my life. However, it is not. I had to experience enough to be able to stay out of it. So I am sorry that's how you feel. However, there is nothing I can do. You know what I mean? There's really nothing I can do. You might want to put Toaster Deluxe in a timeout for a little bit. They are not helpful. It's as real as Spider-Man. Oh. The truth is that it is fiction. Okay, I will. So look, Toaster, I'm gonna put you in a timeout because you are disturbing the flow of the chat. Look, it's cool, but do you have anything to add, anything of value to add to the conversation? If you don't, then I'm gonna have to get you out of here. How much money do you make from talking about gang stalking? Why am I gonna share this with you, especially when your immediate approach to everyone here is filled with so much disrespect? That's really rude. You know, brain reading tech and stalking random people is fake. Look, I agree with that with you. The whole thing about the brain and V2K and all that, I totally agree. That is false. That is a total and absolute false narrative. I couldn't agree more with you on that. Look, I'm gonna put you in timeout, all right? But good for you. I'm really glad that this that you're living the way you are. Thank you for being here. Okay, there we go. Oh, oh. Mr. Buff, man, did you find a good therapist to help you through all of this harassment? The truth is that I lived it for so long to the point where I saw enough of it to understand how it worked. Once I understood how it worked, all I did was use that knowledge to steer away from it. That's it. The only reason that I am improving after 8 years of being stuck in a loop was because I finally understood enough of it. And as of now, I am correcting my own mistakes because look, um, when you're a target, well, in my case, I was approached by a lot of people who whose intentions weren't good. I made the mistake of allowing just about anyone into my life. And that led to a lot of consequences. When you begin paying attention to the things that are nudging you to behave in a particular manner, you begin to see more of gang stalking. Before gang stalking, I was a completely distinct person. And you see gang stalking only after you are deep in it and it has changed aspects of your life enough so that you begin questioning what happened. And then you look at other people and the behavior and how they influence you. And when you notice that it was the influence of a lot of people that nudged you to do something, that's gang stalking. Gang stalking is when a lot of people are nudging you to behave in a particular manner. Jeffrey Chavez is saying, "Hi, are you keeping it juicy?" Hey, yeah, hell yeah. How juicy are you, Mr. Jeffrey? Jeffrey Juicy. Did any of your family members want you to go to therapy though for assistance? I don't need assistance. Why would I need to? It's like I found out enough about gang stalking to the point where I am skilled enough to 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 prevent it from having any type of significant impact on my life. That's it. That's right now. Honestly, I feel morally obligated to speak about gang stalking in addition to making sure that I make I'm making sure to show via my actions that what I say has weight. You know, I made a couple for the past I made some stupid decisions a couple of weeks ago that severely impacted um, everything. And the truth is that, you know, the gang stalking playbook is pretty much what I'm dealing with. And even when those moments are embarrassing, they're on the channel. I've taken most of those videos out, but it is all part of the story. As of now, there is only one issue I'm dealing with. And thankfully I feel like it hasn't been enough time before that previous issue. So I'm left with one problem that gang stalking left me with. And and as humiliating as is, you know, it it's simply something that I have to do. Let's see. Did you already talk about those decisions you made that's really impacted you a couple of weeks ago? Maybe I missed you talking about that already. Do you feel comfortable sharing? Okay, look. I haven't talked about it. I'll talk about it. Look, I had a relapse. I didn't intend to share this sooner, but a lot of you guys saw it. I was not I was in a weird state of mind on some of the live streams and on some of the videos. I am embarrassed beyond belief. And I feel like I have the respect of so many of you. It wasn't, it is disrespectful. It really is, you know. And if any of you guys saw that, I am sincerely sorry. None of that was, I don't know what happened. You know, the truth is that I had to make a trip to San Diego. And there is when all these things went down, all of my gang stalking. And all of the people, all of the city, everything just got to me, you know, and I couldn't get that thought out of my head. I couldn't. And I felt right in it, you know. So just know that I am disappointed. I am disappointed, you know. But understand that, look, it's not an excuse, I know. But it it doesn't dominate me anymore. It doesn't. It is, I'm trying to show you via my actions that gang stalking is real, and that thing that freaking happened, I feel like it took away so much from what I stand for. Gang stalking is already unbelievable. It really is. And if I want to commit to keep talking about it in a way that matters, in a manner that matters, I cannot be doing any of that. I really can't. I can't, especially because I'm also talking about fat loss, you know, and fitness. That's hypocrisy. And I wanna and I do not want to be a person who lacks integrity. I don't. That is pretty much the one. That's where it all began. It was on me just losing integrity. And the truth is that you cannot fool people, you know. And not that I try, but if there's something off, people will know. And all you do by hiding that is create more mistrust. And I actually have already the video written for you guys about that. But yeah, I messed up because I began talking to people who I know were involved in that type of behavior, and I just freaking fell face first, you know. Is this actual people stalking you or demons? Toaster, I'm not gonna share that with you because you're already come here already with a particular type of predisposition, and I'm not comfortable sharing that with you. I'm really not. It really didn't send me in. So yeah. So we're gonna check what's going on YouTube. Nobody is saying what it is. You're the one saying it from the get-go. Okay, so let's see. Oh, so we're gonna see here, and the next thing. Um. So we're keeping track of what this gentleman is doing and going through. He's going through his own gang stalking experience. We have watched most of his videos. Define gang stalking. Okay, Toaster, are you asking out of actual curiosity? Look, gang stalking, I'm gonna explain it to you. Gang stalking is a coordinated group effort to bring a person down. That's what it is. Thanks for being vulnerable. It's actually make you stronger. I respect your maturity, not to hide. Thanks for empower when things stand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No, you're so right. You're so right. That is what gang stalking is. Gang stalking is a coordinated group effort to bring someone down. That's called bullying, not gang stalking. Look, the reason it is called gang stalking is because the bullying does things using a particular methodology. It doesn't bully the person directly, but it steers the person indirectly. And for example, let's say that a bunch of people hate you for no reason because we're jealous of your car and we don't want you to have it. So imagine that we began getting closer to you with a facade of friendship. And we're like best friends. And this gang stalking isn't real. People don't get together to bring one person down. That is what you're mistaking, Toaster. People do more than you can possibly imagine. Okay, so look, I'm hiding Toaster from the channel because Toaster is asking a question, and when I answer it, he is simply actively being antagonistic. And look, you don't have to agree. You don't have to agree. I'm not asking you to agree. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. You are the one that is trying to convince me of something that I lived. And I find that incredibly disrespectful. I think you should go somewhere else. So I'm gonna hide you from the channel. All right? So please take care. Bye. Let's see. So I have to hide them from the channel. Not because he wasn't agreeing. I'm not asking anyone to agree. I'm not. I never have. All I am doing is sharing with you guys all my experiences with the intention of coming across someone who has experienced something similar. Perhaps they can learn something from my experience, or perhaps they could they could understand something that they didn't before. The only reason that I am out of gang stalking, even when it's still very much so present in my life, is because I have managed to learn enough about it to the point where it doesn't severely impact my life nor my decisions. Thank you, Human Help. I appreciate you for your support. This fitness master is a wholesome soul who's just trying to thrive in life. Leave him be. Thank you so much. So, usually it's your relatives that gang stalk you. I don't understand why would family do that. You know, one thing about family that I have seen, that I have experienced, is the jealousy between my mom and her sisters. They're like freaking cats and dogs. They appear to talk so much shizzle about each other and envy each other. It is quite an quite an quite a sight. Let's see. So, pretended to be an ex-smoker. Now gang stalkers blow smoke at me. Huh, that's interesting. Let's see that. That's actually really interesting.
Gang stalkers don't actually know everything. They are not omnipotent, they are not all-knowing, they're not all-seeing. They only know what you show them, they only know what you tell them. So what's really interesting is if you pretend to be interested in something, and you can test this, then they are going to reflect that back to you. So let's say I tested this recently, where I kept looking at those like nicotine patches of cigarettes, because I was like, you know what? I was like, I know this is all a trick. I know this is all a trick. I'm clocking onto you guys. So I was like, okay. So there's like posters, right? This is like nicotine patches and stuff. Bear in mind, I've never been a smoker. I don't smoke, nothing like that. So I'm like, okay, let's test this out. Like, so come on, there's like posters, like nicotine patches, like vape or whatever, and yeah, like nicotine things and so it's like big poster, like big red one. So I'm there, like on a tube, you know, kind of thing, and I'll be turning, like just looking. So I'm facing this way, and I'm just looking. I'm just looking, and I do it every day for like a week straight. These guys, they all start blowing smoke in my face. They think that I used to be a smoker. So they start blowing smoke in my face. They literally start, like, they would stop. One of them would even stop, cut in front of me. And then so I couldn't pass. And he just have like he would just stink. They would just stink of smoke. It's to try and get you to regress back into your habits. Right, but it's just fake. It was just a test. So don't be afraid to test this BS that is gang talking out, because it's just a trick. So just pretend, you know, if you're a non-smoker, pretend like you're giving up smoking or something. That's what I did. And you'll see these people don't know. They don't know who you are. They just want you to think they know everything about you. Like, I don't know, let's say you are, what's like a good example you can do? Let's say you are like vegan, right? Go to, I don't know, KFC or something and like ask for a vegan, I don't know, let's do something, test it and you'll see. They do not know anything. These people don't know jack. Only what you show them, only what you tell them. That's it. And they don't know who you are. I actually thought they generally thought that I was a smoker, that I was like trying to give up smoking. Like, and the other one is they do they always time things on the clock or at 1/2 past or 30 minutes past.
What?
So let's say it's like, it'll be like 7 p.m. It will
Jeffrey's
never
saying,
be like, it's
Usually
barely ever
it's
like
your relative
7,
gangsta cute. I don't
7:16,
understand what you're
7:22, right? It's always like around 7 p.m. or like around the hour or around 1/2 past, around like 30 minutes. It's all to make you think that it's something to do with you, but it's not. It has nothing to do with you. It's just, a broken clock is right twice a day. Is that the quote? A broken clock is right twice a day. These people are clueless. They're just spamming you with so much information that could be about you and then twisting it negatively. That's all it is. They're just going by what you show them, what you react to, what you tell them.
He's got a point there.
So yeah, if you don't believe me, test this. Do something random. Go, I don't know, or do what I did and just pretend that you used to be a smoker and you're trying to give up. Anything. Test this. These people don't know jack. These people are idiots. They think they know you, but they don't.
That's interesting. Let's see. Me. Hitting tactics they use to break you. Have we seen this? I think we have watched this. A lot of these things about tactics,
At some point,
some
being
of them are
scrappy turned into
actually correct. Let's see.
If you're watching this right now, you're likely dealing with something most people can't even begin to understand. The voices that won't stop, the sudden burns, the pressure, the fatigue that makes even sitting still feel like a battle.
During gang stalking, one of the things that I can tell you guys that made sense. Well, even though all of it makes sense now, but when I was targeted, when I was working at the O'Reilly Auto Parts in Imperial Beach, my coworkers, my boss, they were in on it. And a lot of the customers. When I tried to maintain my composure, even the customers began like tapping their hands on the counter. Some of them even whisper, "Hurry up." Some of them actually whisper this. And I remember that once I noticed how everyone was imposing stress on me, I began paying attention to my coworkers. And they began doing things with a fake sense of urgency, so that I will start doing it like that. And let me tell you, it worked. I was so busy being stressed out with the whole thing, with the whole gang stalking, with everything that this stressful environment that they were creating, to the point where I was unable to pay attention to what was causing the stress. There was also one of the things that also was done to keep me as stressed as possible throughout the entire day was that when there were several parts specialists, customers literally came towards me. Like, even though there was someone available, they lined up for me to help them. So I was literally working my A off. And whenever I tried to maintain my composure, I would be told to hurry up by these people. Honestly, there was so much pressure for me to hurry up from everywhere, and I didn't have any other significant source of income that I freaking took it, you know. And I didn't I never thought about lawyering up, primarily because it was so impossible. In addition to the fact that there were so many people involved in gang stalking. There are so many people that whenever you speak out, there's gonna be people who are gonna be saying, calling you crazy, that you're hearing things that you just feel that you're being pressured, you know. But I lived it for 3 years. There was no way I misinterpreted my reality for 3 years. That is absolutely impossible, you know. And I saw things and experienced things that only make sense if gang stalking is true. Such as all of the harassment that I just told you. So I was worked so hard every day that every day I was exhausted. And when I was done with work, I was freaking done, you know. So I was looking at the shorts from when I just moved back here. And my face looks all swollen, you know, my eyes, I can barely like open them. I look freaking awful, you know, and but that was because of everything that was happening. Everything about every day in that job for 3 years, I was literally harassed most of the time, 8 hours a day. And I held that for 3 years. The reason that I left was because the voices that I began hearing while I was there were becoming too much, to the point where it just was, I just couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't. When I simply realized that I had to get out, you know, I did. And then time revealed these things that I'm telling you of why was I exhausted all the time. It was because at work I was being pressured to move as fast as possible, and if I wasn't, I would be harassed even harder.
This isn't paranoia. This is psychological warfare. And it's real. But this isn't just coming from your neighbours or local police. No. The people behind this have power. These are elites.
That is not true.
Hidden hands.
Look,
operating through tech.
this assumption that people that have to do with gang stalking have power, that is a total lie. Look, the only power that these people have is the power of gang stalking. That's it. And let me tell you, that is a lot of power. Knowing full well that you can put someone, hang on, knowing that you can make anyone a target in itself should be intoxicating, because that means that you could ruin someone because you say so, and that's freaking insane. However, the idea behind the elites having this, like, how do you say, about gang stalking having to do with the elites. The truth is that gang stalking is a group of people so large that it includes people of all walks of life, jobs, backgrounds, statuses, that a target can be easily convinced that the police force is after them simply because they could possibly be harassed by a gang stalker who is part of the police department. There are people in many places with many jobs that participate in gang stalking. But that shouldn't how do you say, and that is the truth. Gang stalking isn't coming from some agency, from some big power, or anything like that. Gang stalking is a thing that is, and that's it. It just freaking is.
Companies, private contractors, intelligence networks. They're targeting you because you're a threat to the system. You question too much.
That's also what's another word for fabrication, for like assumption. That's an assumption. This guy has made these videos by looking up information about the subject online, or finding information about other people, about finding information of gang stalking through people that have made content about it. People are targeted for no particular reason. And gang stalkers will use that to confuse the target even further. I have to go pee. Hang on. I'll be right back.
See too clearly, and they hate that.
I'm throwing a party.
No. What time is it? I feel like it's time for my third snack of the day.
Just watching this video takes strength. So stay with me, because in this video I'm going to give you clarity, peace, and the reminder that you are not alone. Together, we'll look at 18 of the most extreme psychological warfare tactics used in gang stalking, and why they're being used on people like you. Let's get into it. 1. Voice to skull, V2K.
Okay, look.
You hear voices that no one else can hear. They speak to you. They mock you. Some
Okay, look, I'm gonna tell you how gang stalkers do that. Gang stalkers first get the person really tired. They stress the hell out of the person. And then whenever a gang stalker whispers anything, they make a loud noise. Like they can call someone like the FF gay slur and then like make like a loud bang. What this does is that it is setting up the mind to replay the whisper whenever the target hears a loud sound. I'm telling you this because it's true and I experience it. Also, the gang stalkers simply just whisper things around the target. And there's going to be a point where the target cannot differentiate between whispers in the head of the target or whispers that people around the target are doing. That state of confusion is critical because as long as the target doesn't know if it's the person or the head, the mind of the target will assume, the mind of the target will create the whispers when there is a person that could have possibly whispered. I'm not sure if I'm not explaining that right. Hang on. Let's say that I am in that state of mind where gang stalkers are they just have me done. What they can do is where they can simply whisper every time they pass by me. They will do this for a really long time, a full day, and they could say a particular word like F-A-G, for example. And they will do that so much to the point where I am unable to differentiate if someone is actually whispering that or if I am hearing it in my head. The fact that I don't know will make my mind produce the whisper whenever anyone passes by me. It is almost like a programmation of the mind, as insane as it sounds. Additionally, gang stalkers actively push the target to stay up as much as possible, to do as many substances as possible, and to engage with the gang stalkers as much as possible to confuse the target even further. They add the stress, they do the little whispers, And with time, this will evolve into making the person hear voices. It is that simple. It really, really is very simple. And it's something that happens with time. It happens over time. But it is not V2K. Gang stalking uses methods to confuse people and to make them hear voices. Just understand that. But V2K and gang stalking, that is all a myth that is being pushed on primarily by gang stalkers themselves to keep people from understanding what's actually happening to the targets, particularly because when any target says, oh yeah, I hear V2K, immediately they're going to be regarded as paranoid schizophrenic.
Times they even know your thoughts before you say them. This is not imagination. It's known as voice to skull or V2K. Using microwave frequencies,
That is so wrong.
these voices are transmitted directly into your head. Not through your ears, but through resonance inside your skull. The
That is a
goal
lie.
to confuse
So much
you,
misinformation.
to isolate you, to make everyone else believe that what you're hearing is just in your mind.
There's a point where you have so many people whispering things around you that it really, you literally become confused. You do not know if you simply don't know. Like you will get to that point, which is why I tell everyone, if you're getting targeted, the worst thing you can do is do any illicit substances. Like, simply don't. And anyone that is talking to you about them, or anyone that is pushing them to you, or inviting you to engage in that behavior with them, consider them your enemy. And that is whether or not you are a target individual or not. Anyone that is inviting you or having them around you, or somehow enticing you directly, indirectly, or accidentally leaving it at your house, or any of that, for real, don't talk to those people under any circumstances. That is the worst thing you can possibly do for yourself. It really, 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 really is. For real. Like, regardless of who you are, freaking don't. It's gonna be the worst thing you can do, regardless of what situation you are. It's gonna mess up your job. It's gonna mess up everything that you work so hard to get to. Okay, so I'm gonna make myself a little snack. I'm gonna have my third snack of the day. I'll be right back. Let's see. Oh.
But it's not, and you're not the only one. Two, MK Ultra conditioning. If you feel like you've been mentally rewired, like your mind has been broken down and reassembled by force, you may be experiencing MK Ultra style psychological conditioning. Trauma-based, repetitive, subtle at times, brutal at others. This tactic uses stress, manipulation, even symbols and triggers to fragment your thoughts and bend your identity.
The whole thing about thought fragmentation is real. Look, one thing that you experience a lot during any gang stalking operation is people interrupting you. You're walking around and all of a sudden someone startles you, or someone revs their engine really hard right next to you. If you are talking to someone can be continuously interrupting you. What this does is that it fragments your thoughts. Over time, you become conditioned to, how do you say, all of these things, such as the car door slams, the interruptions, all of those, because you know they are purposeful, they make you feel anger. You experience these for so long that your body starts producing the emotion of anger, the physiological sensation of anger, at the moment that you hear this. Anger will overtake your own it will interrupt your train of thought. So you could be having your amazing thoughts, thinking of something that makes you happy. However, the moment that you hear a car door slam or an engine, your own body will interrupt your own train of thought with the emotion of anger. Gang stalking does this so that you get to a point where even headlights make you feel anger. And how do you say? And whenever, and these things are continuously breaking your own train of thought. So you really are unable to think clearly, especially if you are living on the streets, or if you are in a situation where there's a lot of gang stalking harassment. Typically, gang stalking harassment concentrates on places that you frequently visit. And it is typically there where a lot of the conditioning happens. In the end, your ability to think clearly is shattered. Because all of these things that gang stalkers do simply make you feel anger. And you are conditioned to feel anger by those things that even when they are not part of your gang stalking operation, you still feel the anger. And your ability to maintain your train of thought completely disappears. That is one of the primary ways that targets are kept down. They are simply made to the point where they cannot have a clear mind.
You weren't born broken. This was done to you. But what they didn't account for was your ability to fight your way back. 3. The echo chamber. Ever notice the same phrases repeating? Strangers mimicking your private thoughts. Your own words echoed back to you from the mouths of people you don't know. That's not coincidence.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name.
So that's one of the things that happens in gang stalking. You say something in private, not in private, in a conversation with someone else, and then some person will say it to you with the intention of fitting into the narrative that everyone
That's
is
the
watching.
echo chamber. Through algorithms, surveillance, and coordinated scripts, they flood your environment with repetition to convince you you're being watched from all sides. The goal is to break your trust in your surroundings and eventually in your own mind. Four. Implants. Maybe you felt a strange sensation beneath your skin, or you've noticed
so much
odd
BS.
interference in your body. Pain, buzzing, vibrations you can't explain.
If you are targeted, just know that if gang stalkers how do you say this? Gang stalkers know ways to make your body produce sensations or have weird twitches. It's actually really simple. It's actually really, really easy. But it's important for you to be aware of this. Whenever you are with anyone that is demonstrating any type of gang stalking behavior, do not allow them to touch you. There are sketchy ways to make someone's body twitch or feel weird sensations. There are. Do not allow gang stalkers to touch you. I know it sounds weird, but there are going to be times where they can pretend to be interested in spending a moment of intimacy with you. And it is through those moments where they can do these things to you. It sounds paranoid. I know it sounds extremely paranoid, actually. But how do you say? I'm gonna have to make a video about this. But there are a lot of instances where gang stalkers keep you meeting gang stalkers by not giving you satisfaction. Only by meeting with you to mess with you. Only to make you have more lust and leave you with blue balls and mess with you while they are at it. But the whole thing about implants and vibrations and none of that is technology. It is all manipulation of the body. Just understand that.
Some targeted individuals have reported covert implants, microchips or nanotech inserted without consent. Devices used to track, influence or even transmit into your nervous system. They deny it exists. But patents tell a different story. And you,
patents don't mean anything, at least in the arena of gang stalking. There are a lot of patents for technologies that have not been realized yet. Never accept any type of evidence of any type of directed energy weapon as proof that it exists. These are called prophetic patents. And prophetic patents are exactly that. Are theoretical inventions where the science has not been proven to work.
you're living the reality. 5. Street theatre. You walk down the street and suddenly someone starts arguing loudly next to you or laughing at something. That sounds eerily specific. This is street theatre. Staged events, scripted encounters, meant to provoke, confuse and emotionally exhaust you. They're not random, they're not deliberate. But here's the truth. Your reaction is what they're after. The moment you stop feeding it, it starts to lose power. 6. Black bag operations. You come home and something feels off. Not stolen, not broken, but moved slightly, as if someone wanted you to know they were there. This is called a black bag operation. Covert break-ins, silent entry. They won't take much, but they'll let you know you're being watched, to make you feel unsafe, even in your own home.
Need to create more.
I experienced that with a Croc. I put a pair of Crocs in the trunk of my car, and then later on there was only one.
Fear is the
It was
objective.
so annoying.
Awareness is your weapon. 7. Microwave burns.
That's all BS.
You wake up with strange red marks. Your skin stings, your muscles aches, and there's a burn no doctor can explain. These are microwave burns caused by exposure to pulsed energy weapons. You didn't bump into anything. You're being hit. These attacks can be carried out remotely from nearby buildings, vehicles, even satellites. The goal is to weaken your immune system, rob you of sleep, and keep your body in a constant state of distress. Covering windows with RF blocking materials, grounding yourself daily,
Don't do any of
and
that.
removing all smart tech from your bedroom can
Do
reduce
none of
exposure.
that. That is all BS. You're gonna go broke trying to protect you from directed energy weapons.
8. Directed energy weapons. DEWs. Have you ever felt sudden heat at a specific area of your body, or a vibration deep in your bones? You may be experiencing a directed energy weapon attack. These devices emit focused beams of radiation or sonic pressure to cause pain, disorientation.
In gang stalking, please understand that there are ways to mess with your mind. If you are feeling directed energy weapons, honestly, that is a sign that you need to sleep, you need to rest, and you need to stop doing anything that could jeopardize the health of your brain. Just understand that. And stop hanging out with anyone that is pushing you or encouraging you to do so indirectly or talking to you about it. For real, the only way that anyone can be made to feel these things is when they let their mind get exhausted to the point where it kind of opens up and it becomes vulnerable. Never allow yourself to be so exhausted to the point where you don't know what's going on, or to the point where you get stupid or malleable or dizzy, you're confused. Never. If you're getting targeted, don't do anything that will put you in a state of confusion.
Or organ damage. They are silent, invisible, denied by most governments, but to the target, they are very real. Some report relief by creating a shielded sleeping area, using grounded copper mesh or carbon blankets. Others rotate sleeping locations frequently to avoid becoming a stationary target. 9. Microwave auditory effects.
What?
It's called the Frey effect, discovered in the 1960s.
We already went over that. That's impossible. The Frey effect cannot.
Certain microwave frequencies can cause the perception of sound inside your skull. It's real, it's documented, and it's used.
It's not used in gang stalking. That's BS.
If you hear clicking, tones, or mechanical speech that seems to come from inside your head, that's not a symptom. That's
the symptom of your mind deteriorating. For real. Like, if you are feeling those things, you need to sleep, you need to eat, and you need to stay somewhere far away from the people that are harassing you. Gang stalking harassment itself will make you hear voices
signal.
and hear weird things and feel sensations.
You're not alone in hearing it. Thousands have reported the same.
This company is going viral for its
For
new
real.
process that gives you permanent teeth in just 24
That's the
hours.
one thing. That's why people. Though the reason that people think that most targeted individuals are schizophrenic, paranoid schizophrenics, is because of stuff like this. There is so much misinformation about gang stalking that whenever anyone talks about it, people immediately assume the person crazy. And look, the target might not be too far from being so. But that is because of gang stalking. The mind of people can be made to do weird things when it's tired, confused. And the best way to prevent any type of manipulation of your mind is to never exhaust it as such. Again, sleep, no substances, nothing crazy, eat, don't do anything stupid or hang out with anyone that engages in that behavior. They're all your enemies. Like they are your enemies and they all hate you. For real, like seriously. If you're getting gang stalked, just know that.
And document every incident. 10. Schizophrenia conditioning. One of the most sinister tactics of all is psychological framing. They create symptoms, voices, paranoia, confusion, and then gaslight you into believing you're mentally ill. This is schizophrenia conditioning. It weaponizes psychiatry to erase your credibility and silence your voice. Remember, just because they label it doesn't mean it's true.
The people that are going to immediately call you schizophrenic are gang stalkers. Like, notice that whenever any normal person who isn't involved in gang stalking will listen to you, and their first reaction will not be to label you as schizophrenic. The first reaction of gang stalkers is to immediately invalidate your claims by calling you crazy. Immediately. People, normal people, typically listen, and then they try to understand. But the only people that immediately will label you as schizophrenic is gang stalkers themselves, because they will try to invalidate you.
You are experiencing attacks, not delusions. Stay grounded in your truth, keep records, and avoid revealing your experiences to professionals who are trained only to diagnose, not to believe. 11. Extreme gaslighting by medical and legal systems. You go to a doctor, you tell them what's happening, they smirk. You go to the police, and they write it off as paranoia. This is institutional gaslighting.
You're gonna get that a lot
A
of that.
coordinated effort to make you question your own
You're gonna
sanity.
get so much of that.
These systems will
Like, if you are targeted, you can count on most people that you talk to. Well, no, not really. Actually, I take that back. To most people that you are acquainted with. For example, with me, my cousins, my mom, my tias, they have no idea about the entirety of gang stalking. They don't know. But anyone out of that circle, and when I mean anyone, I don't mean just any person that you see on the street. Most of the people that I see on the street are just people. They have nothing to do with gang stalking. However, when they recognize you, when they, oh, well, hang on. Oh, let me slow down. You will know when someone is a gang stalker because they have a specific reaction to you. The last time that I saw one, I saw 3. I was at 7-Eleven. And I was walking towards the door, and there's a window so you could see me through the glass. And a guy saw me, someone who was inside of the store. And he looked at me, and then he looked at his friend, and he tapped, and then he just went like that to me. that day I looked really good. And look, people that don't know you are not gonna get mad when they see you. So I then walked into the store. And the bigger one glared me down and up from head to toe. They simply expressed not anger, almost like disappointment. And they just didn't say anything and they walked out. No one did. Hang on. There are some things where you really do not need any evidence to know that someone knows who you are. And since I moved here, I've had less than 10 encounters in total with gang stalkers, less than 10. I can go out and about and I'm not paranoid. I'm not like, oh my God, is that a gang stalker? Is that a gang stalker? No. They are more present online, but like here, I'm not continuously paranoid, you know, as some people might assume when anyone speaks about gang stalking. I feel like that is a misconception that a lot of people have about targeted individuals, that they believe that most people around them are gang stalkers or whatever. But the truth is that there are more normal people than gang stalkers. But when you are a target, these people gravitate towards you because they want to impact you somehow. So as a target, you feel that most people that that are actively looking out for you, people that get in touch with you, are part of this. And a lot of times it's true. To be honest, I am so uncomfortable chatting with people online. Not here, but like on like any dating app or anything like that, I'm just supremely uncomfortable. Supremely uncomfortable. And that is because most of my bad experiences have happened through those freaking apps.
Together to discredit and isolate you. But don't let that stop you from protecting yourself. Find trauma-informed professionals. Document all interactions. And know that just because they wear a badge or carry a title doesn't mean they work for you. 12. Operation Wandering Soul. In Vietnam, the US military used a tactic called Operation Wandering Soul.
I'm so sleepy already.
They played eerie voices over loudspeakers at night to mimic the cries of lost spirits.
That's frightening.
It was psychological warfare, and it worked. Today, the same concept is used against targets. Ghost voices, eerie sounds, whispers, often combined with V2K or synthetic telepathy. It's designed to make you question the boundary between this world and the next. Grounding yourself in spiritual clarity and understanding this tactic can take its power away.
If you were born before 1979,
so
may I
crazy.
ask you something?
After this one,
13. Voice of God technology.
This is also proven to be false, by the way.
This is the Apex, the Voice of God weapon. A system designed to
doesn't
implant
exist. It's a
thoughts,
myth.
speech, or divine messages directly into a person's mind. bypassing all external sound. Targets may hear commands, believe they're being contacted by a higher power, or even feel they're being possessed. The goal is to fracture your spiritual identity, to control your beliefs, to break your will. But once you know it's a tool and not a revelation, you can reclaim your power. Your mind is yours. Your spirit is not for sale. "14. Surveillance cameras and satellite tracking. Maybe you've noticed cameras popping up on lampposts, in unmarked vehicles, or
If you're noticing all of those things, you're being paranoid. Like, for real, if you're beginning to notice all the cameras and all of that, it is you being paranoid. No one is gonna install camera just for you.
even in your own neighborhood.
Unless you're Scientology, or unless, let's see. Like, if you're just like a normal citizen, the moment that you start questioning if something is a camera, you need to like calm down and relax, because that is being paranoid, for real. Like, I guess that's a different story if you are in an Airbnb. Now that is a completely distinct story.
Pointed directly at your home. Or strange aircraft that seem to follow you no matter where you go. These are not accidents.
The whole thing with the aircraft. Look, there was a time where I felt like a plane flew over the sky just for me. It felt like such. It really, really felt like it. And then I began to think logically about it. How much money does it take to fly a plane? The people that need to be on the plane, and then the freaking the laws, not the laws, but the takeoff rules and where it lands, all of that. Same thing with helicopters. It is a whole process. It is expensive. And look, I know that it feels possible. I felt that it was possible at one point. I truly felt like that, like it was possible. But that is one of the things that gang stalking does to people, is that it makes them feel like there's a helicopter harassing the target. It just feels like that. So one thing that you have to understand is that that's not what's happening. It is highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Like, do not go with that sentiment, because you have as much evidence that it is wrong, that it is doing something else, then as you have evidence of following you, you have the exact same evidence. So the interpretation of that is up to you.
Targets often report constant monitoring by CCTV, drones, and even satellites. The goal is to rob you of privacy.
See, that is paranoia. Gang stalkers actively try to make you feel paranoid. They try to make you feel like if they have access to your cell phone, like if they have access to your computer. And look, they have actively tried to make me believe this. I got an email the other day describing what I was looking at on my phone screen. I made a video about it. And I also have had experiences where I was looking at something very specific on my phone, a type of spicy adult content. And someone at work mentioned that exactly. but he says that, oh, he likes this type of spicy content, or where men are wearing this and that, implying that they can see what I'm looking at on my phone. But let me tell you, in the beginning, it did affect my comfort, and I did feel like I was being watched from every angle. I did. However, I got to a point where I said, hell no. It's my iPhone. I freaking paid for it. I can look at whatever I want, whenever I want, because it's my phone. I am not going to allow fear of these people knowing what I'm doing on my phone to prevent me from enjoying my life. And I have kept using my phone and all of my devices like if I never heard about them having that ability. And nothing negative in the 8 years that I have been getting gang stalked. The only thing that has come out of me ignoring that, is someone calling me out on the type of spicy content that I have watched, you know. So, what are they going to do with that information? They were trying to make me feel shame for watching spicy content on my phone. No. You know what I mean? It's like, you shouldn't even be paying attention to what I'm doing. You should be busy with your own life and not busy with mine. And that's the worst it got, is gang stalkers telling me what I was watching in one way or another, or in front of people or whatever. That's the worst that it's gonna get. Most of the terror of that is in your mind. It is your fear of having these people know what you are doing or whatever, because you fear that they're gonna laugh at you for it. But look, these people are already gonna laugh at everything you do, whether or not you do a good job at it. These people are simply looking for ways to invalidate you and to make you feel like you are less than human. Why would you even give any consideration to their opinion of you? You know that they already have it for you. If any one of these people that you already know have harassed you, your best thing to do is to simply tell them to not speak to you unless it is absolutely necessary. And that's it. That's all you need to do. If they cannot speak to you, they cannot persuade you into anything. They cannot manipulate you. They cannot do anything to you if you officially request of them to never speak to you in any way, shape, or form. Blocking and telling them to not speak to you is one of the most powerful things you can do in gang stalking.
Make you self-censor. Every move watched, every word calculated. But awareness is power. You can reclaim your life by limiting smart devices, blocking visual lines of sight.
See, I don't agree with that. Why are you gonna take action to hide from these people? Why are you gonna limit your phone devices? If they can't see what you're doing on your phone, who cares? What are they gonna do about it? There is no way there is someone there watching everything that you do all day, all time. That just is impossible.
And using decoys or misdirection to throw off surveillance patterns. 15. Aircraft harassment, gang stalking by air.
That is so much
You
BS.
hear them before you see them. Low flying helicopters, unmarked planes, circling again and again. You move, they follow. You sleep, they hover. This is airborne psychological pressure, designed not to kill, but to exhaust. It's a message. We're watching, always. But aircraft harassment relies on your fear. Recognize it as a scare tactic, not omnipotence. The sky does not belong to them.
You've been sacrificing sleep to run your business. So when do you get to take back?
16. Electronic harassment and remote neural monitoring.
You know,
You're
I feel
feeling
like,
drained. Your thoughts feel
like exhausted of just the same thing over and over again. I feel like there needs to be a new type of videos or a new type of stream or something to talk about.
like someone is inside your head. This is electronic harassment, and its darker twin, remote neural monitoring. Technology that reads and influences brainwaves from a
Why
distance,
is this even like a video?
using
like,
EMF fields
and then everyone is wondering why targeted individuals believe all this stuff. You know, everything that talks about gang stalking talks about the sensationalized aspects of it. However, no one addresses the actual psychological manipulation that is gang stalking. Everyone talks about the technology, you know, the sensational stuff. It's so upsetting because
it's designed to
this
monitor your
stuff is
thoughts,
what
distort your emotions, and
discredits
even simulate
targets.
pain, all without leaving a mark. You're not imagining this. You're experiencing real, targeted manipulation. Protection starts with reducing your exposure. Unplug smart tech, shield your space with copper mesh or carbon materials, and ground yourself daily. But most of all, learn to guard your inner dialogue. Practice thought discipline.
How are you gonna?
Your mind is sacred, and
Okay, so that is literally fighting your own mind. How are you gonna stop thinking? You know, thought discipline. Your mind is yours. That is the one thing that you should not allow gang stalking to do to you, is to limit your thoughts. Gang stalking literally makes you fight your own mind. The voices are in your head. They are created by your own mind. The sensations that are called directed energy weapons are also created by your own mind, whether or not you realize it. In the end, it is your own mind that is attacking you. The voices, the V2K that you hear, is coming from your own mind. Gang stalking literally turns your mind against you. It literally turns your mind against you. So most of these voices and all of this crazy stuff will go away if you stay long enough away from these people.
targeted manipulation. Protection starts with reducing your exposure. Unplug smart tech, shield your space with copper mesh or carbon materials, and ground yourself daily. But most of all, learn to guard your inner dialogue. Practice thought discipline. Your mind is sacred, and the more aware you are, the less power they have. 17. AI monitoring and synthetic telepathy.
That is so much BS.
Some targets say the voices start to change. They sound more robotic, faster, cold, calculated. This may be AI-driven harassment, a neural interface designed to respond to your thoughts in real time. Synthetic telepathy.
This
The end
is
game:
why no one believes
control not
targets.
just your environment, but your inner world. But your mind is sovereign. Practice silent thought, mindfulness,
Notice that
even
his
encryption of thought,
intentions are actually
creating
good.
mental shields or visualizing barriers. You are not a node on their network. You are human. '18. Sleep disruption tactics. When they can't break you with fear, they break your rest. Loud sounds at night, sudden vibrations, dreams that feel implanted. Sleep disruption weakens your immunity, your mood, your memory. It's one of their most common tactics, one of the hardest to endure. Protect your sleep. Use blackout curtains, analog clocks, EMF shielding, and unplug all devices. Rotate sleeping spots. Practice deep breathing before bed. Your rest is a weapon.
It's so like not good.
Don't let them take it. You didn't choose this, but something about you made them feel threatened. Your awareness, your truth, your light.
I can't keep watching any of that. I feel like I'm up to here. I'm like right here. It is upsetting how much misinformation there is out there. It truly is upsetting. So I feel like I need a palate cleanser. Because let's see, what is this? Let's check this out. What is he saying?
Sweeney, a registered Republican, has the hottest ad out there. Taylor Swift is no longer hot.
What?
Being woke is for losers. Being Republican is what you want to be. Thank you for your attention to this matter. This is the President of the United States. That's right. He even talked about it on video.
Actress Sydney Sweeney came out this weekend that she was a registered Republican. Any thoughts on that?
That who was?
Sydney Sweeney. She's like a very hot actress right now.
She's a registered Republican?
Yes.
Oh, now I love her ad. Is that right? Is Sydney...
Man.
Sweeney. She's like a very hot actress right now.
She's a registered Republican?
Yes.
Oh, now I love her ad.
That's funny. Okay, well, guys, that was it. This is gonna be it for the live stream today. I am exhausted. I'm just freaking tired. Like, I need to sleep. If you guys have any questions about fitness or about gang stalking, please do not hesitate to send me a message. Feel free to write your comment or your question on any of my videos, and I will get back at you as soon as I can. I check all the comments on my videos obsessively. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight here with me, and have a good evening. I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye.